Cool. Just one other thing that I noticed. So this probably happened because I like fixed all the formatting, the line spacing and all that jazz over here. But this one is a little bit wonky. So here, right, make sure that you use this for an enter, but not an actual enter. So we're gonna just kind of backspace that one up, and then we want to make sure there's an extra space up in there. Obviously. Also, for all of these alerts, you can look at, so you can use your discretion, and I might come back in and edit it some more, but it'll save me time in terms of putting the answers in. You can use your discretion to like set up the answers for all these questions, like these ones, right? So yes, the final answer is like 1, -3. The final answer here is 2, 3, 32, whatever, but like what are going to be the required steps? When you're doing this part though, thinking about like thinking about for new instructors, when they come in, obviously they want something that is as comprehensive as possible. Well, okay, I said they want it. They don't really want anything necessarily, but we want them to have something that's as comprehensive as possible because we just want to make sure that there's no errors, right? Yes, you guys know how to do math, but like, are you super on the up and up with like exactly which steps we're going to require? And I sent out that video about steps because like, a lot of new instructors will they'll just be like, yeah, oh, the answer is 2, so that's fine, cool, that's like all we need. So a lot of times on questions that are really important, I'll put things like, these are the required steps in like bold and like all caps and stuff like that, right? So we've got some of that stuff going on as well. In order to get a good idea of that, actually I can open up, where are you? So math practice section 1, the array file, so this is M4A. I actually made this one myself. And then you can just kind of see, so like this one, relatively simple. I didn't put that much. It's not very elaborate. This one, it's got like one step. So, that one step is like the multiplying, and then there's like one other step. This little arrow thing is really nice so that you don't have sort of a bunch of answers that end up being like with all of these little interspaces. If you actually put the answer key, such that the answer, like each individual step goes to like the next line, you could end up with an answer key that's just like super long, right? And it would take up a lot of space in Slack. So ideally sometimes kind of using this to say like, okay, this thing sort of simplifies to this other thing, and we can sort of go horizontally instead of vertically. With students, we're really, really aggressive about vertical math, but with instructors, we know that, it's a little bit less terrible. So that's okay. Alright, cool. What else? So if you just like kind of look through these ones, some of these are actually multiple choice. This one again is just kind of simplifying. But there will be some that have more aggressive steps, or maybe not. Maybe I didn't make this one. Where's the one that I made? Because I would definitely have put more steps on these. This one has steps, so that's useful. Although it does not look like I made these steps, because they do not look like they are formatted the way I would format them. This is a really good one. There we go. Yeah, I definitely doctored this one up. So, this one is, what is the worksheet here? Comparing equivalent equations, right? So just looking at, you do this, you multiply this thing out, and then you have this other thing that you multiply out, and then blah, 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 and et cetera, et cetera. Just like when you're thinking about it, make sure that you pay attention to the way that it's going to come out in Slack. If you're ever uncertain, you can transfer it over to Slack, but unfortunately, these little things do not automatically turn into enters in Slack. That's a thing that gets processed through the VMH, so, whatever, but you can kind of play around with it. Using some bold, but not all bold. Obviously, if everything's bold, nothing stands out, but using some bold can be useful. I usually try to get the final answer in bold, and then, so you can see final answer is bold here, but then all the steps are like not bold. However, some things like responsives in thoughts, because new instructors have a tendency to just like never see those words when I write them. I don't know why. They just literally can't see the words that I've written. And they never use responsive worksheets. So if you want to make words like that, like responsive in thoughts, I've started making that either bold or like I said, bold and italics or all caps or just whatever it is. I also usually put it on its own line and stuff like that. So you got those sorts of things. Anyway, you can use this one a bit as a reference. I think even this one should probably have some added steps in for some of these questions, but maybe that'll be another project for you in the future. Anyway, if you have any questions about that, let me know.